Honda produced 110,673 S2000s from 1999 to 2009. Over 66,000 of those were destined for the US. This is the interior of my Honda. It's got the red and black leather. You can see the start button, and it has really some beautiful door cards here. Here we get a nice shot of the car with the top down, and you can see the aftermarket installed roll bar. The former OEM hoops come to about this high above the seat, and this one adds several inches above the driver's head. The glove box has two little areas. If you open this main center one, you're able to squish an owner's manual in there and maybe fit some CDs. I also have a folded registration here. There's also a secret compartment. If you lift this section, you can see a little bit of storage back there. It's not a whole lot of space, and people don't really use it that often, but I've lost that ability due to the roll bar here. In the trunk, you've got a decent amount of space, and I've been able to pack an overnight bag and 2 helmets for people to take a weekend trip to the racetrack. If you lift this panel, you can see a standard scissor jack, you have a lug wrench, I keep a tire pressure gauge, some gloves for changing the tires, and an ice scraper. This is normally the location where a donut spare tire is held, but I've removed it due to the roll bar which has been installed there. Here you can also see the coilover suspension, the Öhlins, which are adjustable here. This is another unique feature of the S2000. What you're looking at here is actually the fuel cap release knob, and it's not very obvious. It's fully black and completely blends in with the black plastic, but you just need to reach in and pull it up like this. Pop, there goes the cover, and you have access to the premium unleaded fuel. So let's take it for a drive. We're in the driver's position now. We're going to take a look at the key. It's a very old style physical key with a remote entry. It doesn't have proximity, so you actually have to press the button. You have to stick in the key on the side here, rotate, and then press the start button on the left. And there you can see this great digital dash. Mileage count on this one is 69,000 miles. We have temperature, we have a coolant display, and a digital fuel tank. We have a tachometer that goes to 8,000 RPM on the AP2 model. Now we're going to take a look at this center console. It's got a nice brushed aluminum S2000. You have a tiny amount of storage on this other side. So let's talk about driving impressions. This is a fun car. If you're ever going to make an investment in a 2-seat rear-wheel drive sports car, this is it. Sounds great. Hit that VTEC. So it's got plenty of power for a small car. You're going to be able to accelerate with some pep. And again, I compare it to a Miata. It's faster than a Miata. It's faster than a lot of front-wheel drive, non-turbo cars. But this is not going to win you drag races. The place where this car really shines is on the corners. Any place that you can push the car left, turn right, that's going to be where the Honda really does well and puts a big smile on your face. And for me, I think this is a great car that's going to hold its value because A, it's fun to drive. It's a reliable car that the cost of maintenance don't outweigh the benefits of getting to drive this car. And you know, for me being based in Texas, we don't have a lot of great driving roads, but there are plenty of racetracks. And for me, I'm able to take my car onto the racetrack. That's something that I enjoy. And we can talk about that a little bit more. I'm going to show you what we can store in the trunk. But this is a car that is very pure.
It is pure in a race car sense. It's pure in a non-luxurious sense. And that's what I think is ultimately what people are looking for. They want a car that ticks all the boxes: rear-wheel drive, convertible, good manual transmission. This is a 6-speed. It's got an engine with a little bit of pep. It's got enough power to make it fun and break the rear tires loose, but you're not going to break the bank if you do snap a drive shaft. If you do throw a rod, it's not going to crush your ability to provide for your children. Not like a Ferrari, not like a 355 or even a 993 might do to your wallet. And I think that the Honda doesn't have as much of even a Corvette tax or a Porsche tax that people tack onto when they're doing repairs or parts and maintenance for these types of cars. So, this has really a long-term outlook. I think you have to buy the car if you're going to use it. And if you use it and you enjoy it, then it's going to be a good investment, because I don't think that examples are losing value. And we'll throw some numbers up of what these cars are trading for, but this is a car that is being driven, it's being used, it's fun. It's not a pure investment that you need to keep it in a plastic bubble. No, this is a car that you buy, you enjoy, you drive it hard, take care of it, sell it in 5-10 years, and you're not going to lose money. And to get some joy out of a car and being able to use something that is a work of art, well, I think you're coming out ahead if that's the scenario.
So let's talk about the power top. In order to take the roof down, you unlatch the 2 latches up here. I've done a mod so you only have to click 1 click, and there's a nice button here. And it's a very fast process that is another great benefit over a Mazda Miata that has a manual folding top. This power top can go up and down very quickly. So here we have top-down driving. You can see the hard top. You can see the roll bar. This is really why you get a convertible. The wheel, set and go. It's really a point and shoot. I won't quite call it a go-kart because I've driven some cars that are really like a go-kart, but this is a great handling roadster that just begs to be driven like it was designed for. Independent suspension, really is going to be a different ride than a lot of muscle cars. Maybe you might have a Mustang or a Camaro. Not going to handle like any of these cars. You're going to get top level handling with a world-class transmission. Very smooth. So this is a pretty smooth road, but keep in mind that I have very stiff suspension. I'm running 900-pound springs, which are definitely rougher than the OEM springs, and with a reduced ride height, you have to have some stiffer suspension. That said, I don't think this car is too jarring. Video may prove otherwise, but it's really a great car for smooth roads, or mostly smooth roads. So the great thing about this Honda is, while it's perfectly comfortable on the racetrack and you can drive this to the track, it's also a very capable daily driver in normal circumstances. So for example, you can take this out, you can sit in traffic, the AC works great, you've got all the controls at your fingertips, and it's really a rough car if you're used to luxury, but it is going to be a practical daily driver that
is more practical than a Lotus Elise. It's going to give you more room in the cabin than a Mazda Miata. And I know that those are very small cars, but this gives you just enough room where you feel like your body parts aren't touching pieces of the car all the time. And for anybody that's driven a lot of these tiny race cars or even a lot of two-seater coupes, your body parts are touching a lot of the car. And so for me, you know, the shifting is very easy. The clutch is fairly light. It's not going to wear you down to be in a little bit of stop and go traffic. You know, I don't recommend this for somebody who has a 30-minute commute of completely stop and go traffic. Your left leg is going to get a good workout, but it's definitely doable for a daily driver that has a reasonable commute or short periods of driving.
The S2000 was a great car at the time. It was the only Japanese-made rear-wheel drive manual roadster that could really compete on the racetrack with a host of German competition. It came at a fraction of the price, but was comparable to a Nissan 350Z or a Mazda Miata. Now, this car weighs 2,800 pounds, which is considerably heavier than a Miata, but it came with 240 horsepower, which again, significantly more. It was a more powerful version of a Miata. The convertible top is down. It's very clean without the cover. We can get a view of the great tires. This is a hard dog roll bar that I've installed, and you can see the leather padding is really a nice touch to clean up the bare metal. This is a very clean engine bay. You've got the stock gold color, very accessible. I can easily access all parts of the engine. Here you can see I've also installed some aftermarket hood struts which raise the hood even more vertical. You can see how much open access there is. And again, you get a great shot of the adjustable Öhlins coilovers, battery tray, and the oil filter is accessible from the top. I typically loosen the oil filter from the top and then spin it off from the bottom when I do oil changes.